Hello, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer, here in the studios at the Brewery Arts Center with this week's guest, Miya MacKenzie, who is the Chief Professional Officer of the Hop and May Adams Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Miya, tell us a little bit about the Hop and May Adams Foundation and some of the work that they do here in Carson City.
The Hop and May Adams Foundation was founded in 2008 by May Adams. She was in her 90s. Her husband Hop had passed away, her daughter Betsy had passed away, and she was looking to consider what she should do with the bulk of her fortune. She decided to leave it to the community of Carson City because they had made their money through the Nugget for so many years. But she wanted to leave it in a way that would be helpful, what in her mind the most helpful to the community for a long-term vision. So she said that she wanted to help with educational and career opportunities in the form of a hand up rather than a handout. So the idea was, let's create programs and services that help people help themselves. And also, let's just make this a better community. So the trustees then were given the task of defining what that meant. Since that time, we've started several programs, which is...
Many programs,
yes.
And you're here today to tell us about one of those programs in particular that's getting started with our school district here.
Right. It's called the New Entrepreneur Network, and we actually officially launched our first pilot program last spring at Carson High School. And it was a 14-week program where the students, they volunteered. It was a voluntary option to join the program, and they learned about entrepreneurship. And really what it's focusing on is the concept of the entrepreneurial mindset. There's a lot about being an entrepreneur that is beyond just starting and running a business. And the idea is somebody with an entrepreneurial mindset identifies problems, thinks about solutions, and then takes actual steps to implement the solution. So that might mean that you identify a problem or a software option or a new gadget, and you come up with a solution that's going to be useful to the world in the form of a business. You might also identify a need, and such as a nonprofit need or a service that could be beneficial to the community, and decide to launch that. Even as simple as identifying that there's an area where a lot of garbage tends to clutter up, and we have some organizations in town who then have flash mobs that go and help.
Right, the trash mobs that Muscle Powered puts on.
Absolutely, that is entrepreneurial. So the idea of an entrepreneurial mindset is just being somebody who identifies problems and then is willing to do something about it. So
this is something that is really important for kids to learn about, even if they are not intending to start a business.
Absolutely. Somebody who thinks like an entrepreneur, having the entrepreneurial mindset, is going to be a more valuable employee. Employers want people who are looking for better ways to run processes and run a business so that the business can be more successful. Additionally, it makes people better community members, people who are willing to get involved and make change for the better.
Right, so last year was the pilot, as you mentioned, and it's expanding. Which schools are going to be having this program now?
So last spring we started at the high school. We also started at Pioneer High School and at Carson City Juvenile Probation. Then those were the three we did in the spring. Then we did, and Jeff Glass is the executive director, so when I say we, he's the one that's leading this program. We did a program with the Boys and Girls Club last summer, and we really created the New Entrepreneur Network in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. It was a joint idea that we created together to help with this entrepreneurial mindset for the youth in Carson City. This fall, we're back at Carson High School. We have another what we call Level 1, which is what our pilot program was last spring. We have that launched again. And then we also have what we call our Level 2 students who are doing some extra work on the side at a more advanced level. We're also back at juvenile probation, and starting in January, we will be launching a program at Carson Middle School and Eagle Valley Middle School. That's going to be a slightly different program. It's going to be more... There will be some of the entrepreneurial mindset, but it's also going to be very hands-on, learning how to actually start a small business, so that the students will go through a process of everything needed to start a small business. We're also looking at expanding what we're doing at the high school to have what we're calling segments of learning. There's one particular segment that people really enjoy, and we call it Idea Spark. Everyone assumes if you're an entrepreneur that you already have a great idea. And a lot of times you may not. You may want to try to come up with an idea for a business. So Idea Spark is teaching people how to brainstorm, how to come up with that great idea that could become a business. So we'll have that. We are working with Pavel Solin. He is a professor from UNR. He's going to be doing a coding program at Carson High School this spring.
Oh.
And we're looking at starting other programs such as that. Additionally, last year, the students really told us that they want to see what it's really like inside of a business. They want to know, what does somebody do for 8 hours a day sitting at a desk?
What are you doing all
Yes.
day at work?
They don't know, and so they really want to go visit businesses. So we're planning 5 field trips to businesses in after-school hours to allow the kids to go on a trip, look at the entire business. We have one scheduled with ClickBond, and look at how all the different facets of a business operate to make a successful company.
And to meet with the people who are running those businesses.
A huge part of what we're training the students is networking. How do you make small talk? How do you meet somebody? How do you look them in the eye? How do you present yourself? What should you do as follow-up when you've met somebody? Write them a quick thank you email or note.
Right.
And we did this last spring, and we found that our students were really successful in going out and obtaining jobs with these skills, which was great. And we really want to do that even more. We are also looking at working more closely with the college, Western Nevada College. We do that both through New Entrepreneur Network and also through Adams Hub, which we might get to in a few minutes.
Right, absolutely. So tell us, what are some of the kinds of projects that these kids work on as part of the New Entrepreneur Network?
Right now, so we're looking at, we have Milton Chen, who is in the world of education, very well known. He worked for Sesame Street for a number of years. He's now been working for at Skywalker Ranch for Edutopia. And he is just really known for education, the more progressive educational thought. We're bringing him here in February, and the students are going to be helping us plan the whole trip out and plan the promotion of the trip to make sure it's super successful. So that's one thing. Additionally, we have students who are just becoming entrepreneurial and looking to help. They're looking at working with some of the organizations at the high school who are doing different fundraising campaigns and trying to help them be more successful with their fundraising.
Great. So really getting these kids involved in their community, in their school, and hopefully providing them with skills that they're going to be able to use after they leave school and enter the workforce.
Absolutely. That is the plan.
Now, you mentioned just a couple moments ago the Adams Hub,
right,
which is another thing that the Hop and May Adams Foundation does here in Carson City. It's located downtown, and people have probably seen the Adams Hub, but may not be familiar with the work that goes on there.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Adams Hub is a business incubator, which means it's a place where startup businesses go to ideally grow more quickly and be more successful. So the idea is this is usually for a startup that might really, maybe the founder or founders know how to program a software solution, but they don't necessarily know how to form a company or form a business, hire people, get their books set up properly. So an incubator helps fill in the gaps around somebody's skill set and helps drive them setting goals and milestones to grow more quickly and more successfully. Adams Hub has been open for just over a year. We have 9 clients, and we've focused on technology, so they're all technology startups. We have some of our clients are local, and some of our clients have come. We have one company that has joined us from San Francisco.
That is going to operate here in Carson City?
So it's called FinTech. They're a financial technology company, and so their headquarters will remain in San Francisco because it makes sense to be there. Their operational headquarters will be here in Carson City. So their programmers, developers, customer service reps, salespeople will operate out of Carson. They're in one office at Adams Hub now, but they're going to be growing really quickly. And so then if we do our job right, we have this odd position. If we're doing our job right, we're regularly kicking our clients out. It's the opposite of what most people are trying to do.
Right. You want to see them grow and be successful and
move into Carson City somewhere else. Yes.
Right. Go spread their wings and fly so that you can take on a new client.
And they can hire more people and be more successful and grow more quickly. The reason we have focused on technology is those tend to be higher paying jobs. So we're trying to bring in companies that are going to be creating really good jobs for Carson City and our region.
Excellent. And with the things that are going on regionally, with the tech companies coming into the Reno Tahoe Industrial Center and all the growth that's going on, our region really is becoming a great place to be a tech company. Now, another thing that the Hop and May Adams Foundation is involved in is, of course, development. Big redevelopment taking place downtown.
Yes.
How's the Hop and May Adams Foundation involved in that?
In terms of the street, changing of the street of Main Street, where we are just a property owner in that. And so we are involved in it in that property owners did need to say they were willing to tax themselves to help support the cost of the redevelopment. So we're involved in that sense. But additionally, we have purchased 3 buildings downtown and renovated them. So that's been a huge commitment, but we felt that it was important to bring some of these buildings back to their original glory, and make them beautiful and fit in with our culture here in Carson City. Actually, the Adams Hub was our first project. That building had been empty for a number of years. We renovated it and put the Adams Hub in. The big project that everybody is eyeing is kitty corner to that at 308 North Curry Street, the big white building.
Yes.
That building has been something we've worked on for a long time. We were trying very hard to maintain the structure of that building, excuse me, but we're finding that for the seismic upgrades to make this a truly efficient building, we are not going to be able to continue with that. So we're going to complete the demolition of that building in the next few weeks, and then we'll start ground up reconstruction. But it'll be brand new, efficient, seismically secure building.
Fantastic. So really making a nice space downtown that then businesses can move into, that can become a nice facility that can drive the economy even more downtown.
Absolutely. So we do have pictures, big signs up at the property if people are interested to see what the building will look like. We're really trying to keep the character of the historic downtown. So even though it'll be a brand new building, it will look very historic in nature. We're also embracing the concept of the downtown master plan, which called for mixed-use buildings. So it'll have a ground floor of retail and restaurant, a middle floor of office space, and then top floor of high-end apartments.
All right, so that'll be a really nice place, and hopefully some more restaurants and more traffic in that area.
Absolutely.
It's a great area downtown, very walkable, and it's going to be, you know, even better once this all gets complete.
Absolutely. We're excited about this.
Well, thank you, Miya, for coming today and telling us about all the work that the Hop and May Adams Foundation, the Adams Hub, the Entrepreneur Program, lots of exciting stuff going on. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you. It was great to join you. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us for today's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer. We'll see you next week.